That's our own little marching band moment, you and I.
Can you, people have listened. Listen, people have listened. Did you say we've been doing this for 4 years?
Yeah.
If anyone has listened to us for 4 years, I love you so hard. What the heck do you do with Drumline so people can understand what you do? Now, you've probably heard us talk about Katie plays the cymbals.
I do.
But she also teaches the cymbals.
I
what do you do? Can you explain it? And I think it'll help.
What am I explaining? What a drumline is?
So when you went to college.
Oh.
You played cymbals.
I did.
In the drumline.
Yes.
So football games, the whole 9 yards. The da-da-da-da-da. Okay. And now, after college.
Yes.
You teach another college.
Yes.
Their drumline. Which I thought... There's just one coach, and then from this movie, I thought it was students get selected to teach, but they pay you as coaches.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. How this feels very Bring It On-esque, where it's there's no adults really. It's just all the kids running themselves, and I guess it's a little different because they're college age. But yeah, most places have some adults who are getting paid to,
and that's you.
Teach. That's me. I'm one of a bunch.
And then you do another thing,
I do.
Which is an entertainment marching band that plays at the New York Jets and Giants games.
Well, not at the Jets anymore. Rest in peace. And it's not a marching band; it's just drumline.
Oh,
yeah. There's no other instruments; it's just drums.
So that's tailgating. You're
playing some beats.
Halftime. That's during
sometimes.
The game. Do you have a section, or are you on the field?
So we usually will do a either third quarter timeout or fourth quarter timeout. We'll be in this section of the stadium, and then they put the camera on us. But it's not always. It's kind of depends on how the game's going. Wow. So it's mainly tailgates.
So we have a professional on our hands. In addition to a movie reviewer.
I do have a cymbal resume. I put my cymbal stuff on my CV, but if anyone needed, I have a separate cymbal resume. Wow. My experience, yes.
The final piece to this movie, the cymbals folks are getting down.
Guys, you're gonna learn today.
All right.
Bridget's gonna learn today, okay?
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello there.
Welcome back, listeners. Are you a P1 or a crab? You are a crab. You know nothing. You kind of are a crab, Bridge, but you won't be at the end. You'll learn. Yeah.
This movie surprised me so much.
Me too! Oh my God,
Who are we? What are we talking about?
Okay.
Let's get after it.
Okay. Yes. Listeners, welcome back. We are in the drumline. Mainly me, but Bridget's there too. In spirit.
I'm not.
She's cheering us on. But we are also the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And one band, one sound.
One band? What sound?
What sound? It's not a bad motto, honestly.
It's really beautiful.
Hashtag teamwork. Bridge, what's the movie this week?
It is 2002, starring Nick Cannon.
Wow.
Drumline.
It's iconic.
Okay.
It's iconic.
I
Capital
loved
I.
It.
I loved it.
I love it.
I need to preface. Bridget did give my little resume spiel. If anyone, which I don't think anyone is in this boat, but if you are, hey, what's up? If anyone has ever played in a drumline, that is not this type of drumline, which we'll get into more. But if you were not that, which my experience was never really how these drummers are portrayed, I think a lot of people like bagged on this movie because the actual like musicianship isn't there's a all right, Bridge, here we go. Now we're gonna start learning. Take out your pen, paper, pencil. You're gonna learn.
Wait, so it wasn't like that skill?
The drumming was not as clean. When I say clean, I mean they play together. So we didn't have a lot of cleanness, but if you're not a drummer, you don't know that. So they were kind of like, who cares? It sounds like
cleanness
music.
mean?
Clean means play together. It's like when I have 8 people playing the exact same thing, I want to close my eyes and I want it to sound like one person. And it's and if it's not clean, you can tell that it's not like lined up. And then you could also say it's dirty drumming. Wow. Yes, there's even more lingo we're going to learn today. So,
oh my God, get your notepad out, folks.
So I think a lot of former drummers or current drummers or whatever, if they didn't have this experience, that was kind of how we all thought of this movie. And I definitely had that bias. And guys, this rewatch, I have changed my tune. I enjoyed this watch very much. I mean, I don't care as much about the drumming personally. I care about plot. Okay, we're here for the plot. And I like the plot. All right?
Honestly, I like the drumming.
All right, Bridget liked the drumming. Great. I mean, there were, like, fun things happening. Don't get me wrong.
Because drumming is, you get to the club, it's the beat. You know, you
it is
are
the
working
beat.
out and you're running to the beat. Like, it's like, it really is,
it is the heartbeat of the band.
Beat of the band.
If you ain't got a pulse, you die. Oh man.
Oh,
that's what the guy said.
I know. I watched it.
Okay.
I felt like after this movie ended, I was like, oh, this is a sports movie.
It is very sports movie feel. Yeah.
And because in Nostalgia Land, we think of like band as band geeks because every 90s, 2000 movie made everybody in the band like a dork.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they don't get sports movies. Like, they get made fun of, right? Like American Pie. And this was because it was all around it. And they were the best of the best. And that's what got me so excited.
Yeah.
That's what I always jive with. It ended and I thought, this is a sports movie. This is an iconic sports movie where you learn a lot about teamwork and what it takes to win and what it takes to be the best and hard work. And I ate it up.
Yeah.
I ate it up.
Yeah. I mean, and they definitely, like, even with what you said, how they're, like, is typically a stereotype portrayed in movies and TV about, like, being in the marching band where it's like, you're a fucking nerd. And this movie, it was like, they're cool. They get to hook up with the dance team people. Mm-hmm. Okay? Zoe Saldana? Okay.
But they, win national championships.
Yeah, they're also talented. Yeah, right. That too. They're also winners, but...
Okay, wait. Yeah. Let me talk to you about Nick Cannon's history.
Jesus Christmas, I'm ready, because there's
I know you're going to do the synopsis, but just hold up.
Okay.
So Nick Cannon really truly had kind of a rough upbringing. Like, he was in gangs.
Oh, wow. Nick Cannon?
Yes.
Little Nick?
He grew up in horrible areas, was in a gang. One of his best friends died.
Aww.
And that kind of changed. Then he separated himself from the gang. He started trying to do comedy. And believe it or not, Will Smith saw a tape of him doing stand-up comedy and became his mentor.
Oh.
And when and then he found out that he could also rap, because Nick Cannon had a rap career for a while, if you remember that,
yes.
way back in the day.
Yes.
And then when this movie came up, there needed to be a musician, which was Petey Pablo. Remember Petey Pablo?
Petey Pablo! Who am I?
Who am I?
People don't forget Petey Pablo.
So that Will Smith was like, hey, Nick Cannon, do you want to do that? And instead Nick Cannon was like, no, I want to lead in it.
Oh.
And then everyone was like, but you've acted in maybe one or two things, but what? So he relentlessly called and basically Will Smith advocated for him, and that's how he got this big break.
Wow.
And now I don't know what it's like to have Will Smith as a mentor. I'm sure that's a blessing and a curse.
Well,
because because
getting
that's
like
a whole
King
other...
Richard vibes
But
now.
we're talking 2002, right?
That's
so
right.
we're talking
right.
Will Smith 2002. So, and also we're talking about somebody who grew up in a horrible area with horrible circumstances, and so he played a version of himself, right? And so a real drummer taught him how to actually play the snare drum, but obviously he didn't play the hard stuff because we never saw his face.
Right. Very creative editing and camera cuts.
Very creative editing and camera. But it's funny because then I went down a whole history, which will not be too long, about Nick Cannon and about he really had this crazy rocket rise, and he definitely had some missteps, said some terrible shit but somehow continued to get those big TV hosting franchise whatever deals.
Wiling out.
Marries Mariah Carey, and that's the peak of
I was gonna
holy
say,
shit.
You can't go up from there. It's only downhill from Mariah Carey.
And then had twins with Mariah Carey. So that was holy shit. They get divorced, and then his life just spirals. He just has baby mama, baby mama, baby, and now he's this utter insane joke. And I was trying to follow the timeline of when he had babies and when he was with people. And then he had a really horrible, one of the babies was 5 months and died unexpectedly.
Wow.
And just endless, I don't know, chaos. And I don't know, I kind of feel bad about that kind of insane life. These people picked out of nowhere, shot to fame really fast, and then just crashing hard. And, at the same time, he does it, he wants those deals, so he just takes all the jokes. I mean, people just make fun of him to his face endlessly, and he's on TV smiling. There's something I like about it. I don't know. But in this movie, he was I think he was young.
That's what I was just going to look up. I want to know when
18?
he was born. Because he looked young and felt like he wasn't acting a lot of the time. I felt like
he was the same age as the character, so he had to be 19 or 20.
When were you born, sir? Oh, he was born in the 1980s, so he was 22 when this movie came out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a baby.
You're a baby. One thing
but he looked like he was literally 15. Okay, that's my Nick Cannon history that I thought was interesting. There you go.
Okay, thank you so much. One thing I just want to add onto that, and then I'm going to dive into my synopsis, is this, somebody wrote in this bit of trivia on IMDb, and I screenshotted it, but I'm going to read it to you now. It says, in the movie, Nick Cannon's character says that he doesn't have a lot of kids running around. As of May 2023, he has 12 kids by several different women. And why do I feel like that was written by Mariah Carey? Let me know. Okay. All right. Okay, let me do synopsis. So, listeners, drum roll, please. That's how the movie starts off. It starts off with a fun little drum roll. And we meet Nick Cannon. And his name is Devon Miles. He is a drummer. That's actually the only thing we know about him at all. No other aspirations we're made aware of, but he's graduating high school, and we very quickly learn that he's a little bit of a show-off.
Okay,
rebel, whatever. Here's another lingo, Bridge. You ready? Kid's got hands. That's what we say when someone's very naturally talented at playing the drums. Ooh, they got hands.
They got hands.
Kid's got hands. He's got hands, and he knows it, and he got a full ride to a fictional college, which is called Atlanta A&M, and his full ride is for drumming, which is probably the first time in this movie where I'm like, this is made up. Yeah, no,
bands don't get full ride?
Full ride.
I don't know. I'm thinking of sports teams.
Bridget, who's paying money?
Yeah, because there's 100 people in the band.
Their bands are huge. Yeah.
How many people are in a college band?
The college band I work with right now has 330 some shit.
So no one's getting a full ride.
That's a hard no, especially the school that they're at. My God.
Even if they got great hands.
It doesn't matter. Nobody now, I will say, oftentimes there is a little bit of a stipend. So, for example, when I was in college, I think I got each season I marched, I got $500. So in total, it was $2,000. I don't know. It's better than nothing. So
that's right.
That was wild. But you're like, cool. So he goes off to school, and he's raised by his mom, single mom. There is a scene that I want to mention when we get into it about his deadbeat dad. The foreshadowing hurts me, Charlie. Okay. And then we get on a bus and we're going to band camp. Now, here's what I would like to say. This band camp was scary. I'm afraid.
No.
Number one, I'm scared. But number two, I also, have appreciation that it tried to give off the impression that, this is a sport. This is an activity. You have to be physically in it to win it. It's not just, fucking plain shit. So he meets some people. He gets into band camp right away. He's still kind of got that little show-offy attitude. He's a little snippy. And we meet the band director, who's Dr. Lee. He's played by Orlando Jones. I loved him.
He was so intense.
He was so intense, and I loved him so much.
I was like, this is the Steve Jobs of marching bands.
Not the turtleneck.
It was real.
I loved him so much, and I can't say enough good things about his character. And he's super intense, and basically what we end up seeing is they go through their little band camp. The way that this band works is not everybody gets to play. You have to audition. You have to earn a spot. Even if you earn a spot, people can challenge you, and you can move in and out of that spot on a week-to-week basis. So that's interesting, because not every drumline does that. Some do, some don't. And yeah, so he's talented. He kind of gets in little tiffs with the section leader. Section leaders are also college students, just so we're all on the same page. These are also students.
That's why I was like, wait, Katie, is that your job?
No,
it should be...
I'm not the section lead. I was a section leader when I was a student in college. I was it for 2 years.
All right.
These are kids. I don't see any adults teaching. Just the children. It's fine. And he kind of butts heads with that guy. And the guy's like, you're a hothead. And he's like, but I'm a drummer and I'm great and blah, blah. So he gets on the line, moral of the story. And basically, a lot of the movie is him being a hothead, it causing an issue, then there's more chaos and argument, and then at one point he gets taken out of playing because they find out he can't read music, and that was a requirement for his scholarship and getting in and blah blah blah, and he was just kind of memorizing stuff. And go team. Meanwhile, there's also a weird romance subplot that no one cares about.
Excuse me, Zoe Saldana.
I care about her, but I don't care about her 4-week romance, I
get it, but
I don't know.
I gotta tell you, we both went to Temple University.
We did.
And those Diamond Gem dancers.
I fucking love the Diamond Gems.
Okay, they are actual celebrities.
They really are.
I don't know if they still are now, but they were when we went there. And
yeah.
I love that she did that. And just to give you a history on her, 2000 was Center Stage that she was in. 2002 was
Crossroads.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
And then this movie. So she was doing Crossroads and Drumline.
She's killing it.
I'm
killing it in the 90s or the 2000s, not the 90s.
Okay.
So she's there, and that's also happening, and go team. And there's a bunch of other little subplots with some of the friends and all this stuff, but one of the other there's a lot of plots in this movie now that I think about it, but one of them is also that the band that he's in, they play really quote-unquote boring music, and the kids are like, we want to play rap and hip-hop songs, and the band director's like, no, we're gonna play classics, and I was like, this is real, this is definitely
Is that what happened?
This is definitely, I would say this is definitely a topic in marching band place. Because I feel like...
what's the right approach? You're the professional, what's it?
I think there's a lot of factors, because you have to decide, are you gonna do a show that's entertaining? Or are we doing a show that's higher quality? Because the Dr. Lee character was basically being the old school music is actual music, it's well made music, whereas the nowadays stuff is little samples.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's just like not as
okay.
advanced, shall we
Yeah.
say. So I could see both sides. So I think there's like some decisions. But that's like a big thing. And the reason this is a big thing is because they're competing. This is where the sports movie comes in. They're competing with what's called the BET Classic. Is that what we call it? Yeah, the BET Classic, where it's, I wrote this down. Are you ready for this number? Because this is made up. 50,000 bands. Bridget.
That's a small country.
We're not great at math sometimes.
50,000 times 300.
There's not even 50,000 bands in the country.
I don't think there's enough buses that could get there.
There's not enough parking. There's not enough seats. Like, it's made up. I was like, who said that? What the fuck? So there's not that many, but there's enough. And they have a little competition. The winner gets like thousands of dollars and bragging rights. And basically their rival always wins. And they're like, we gotta win. So Devon teams up with the section leader at one point and they write some beats. That's another term. Write the beats. Drumline beats. Write them. Okay, they do that. And then in the end, the band does a cooler show, thank God. And then they have to have a drumline battle that just cause someone made up that rule, just cause, and then they win. And then it's a freeze frame ending because it's the 2000s. And I loved it so much.
I loved it so much. And then it ended.
Good.
And I was like,
yeah,
that's all I need. I don't need him and Zoe figuring out their relationship.
They don't even go like hug or kiss each other, which I was like, I'm fine with that.
I don't need that. I don't need to know what Devon does next year. I don't need to know what his major is. I don't need to know. I wanted to end on the high. Thank you, early 2000s.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that was the longest synopsis of all time because I interrupted you a lot.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sorry because I just couldn't stop talking. But I want to also give you some fun facts about the inspiration for this movie.
Oh, yeah. What was he? I mean, I assume someone was in a drumline or a band, maybe.
There is a man named Dallas Austin, who the movie was inspired by, and who, which is kind of more interesting now, who was in a relationship with the late Kim Porter, who used to be with Diddy forever. And this guy is like a famous producer that's done like Boys to Men, Madonna. He ended up marrying Chili from TLC and has kids with them. Oh my God. So he's got like a long, big, weird backstory on like whatever. Well, apparently his whole like music career started with him drumming, and like that's what got him into music. And this was like basically inspired the movie. And when Nick Cannon was learning how to play, this guy taught him how to play. Interesting. And so I'm like, this was like a kind of insanely connected movie for, you know, the fact that Nick Cannon got this role also feels like total lottery ticket. Like, this is it. This is the lot. Like, and there's definitely like connections with other like famous artists, because even like, you know, we have Petey Pablo, guys, people don't forget. And there were definitely like some of the like announcers in the like the ending were definitely like actual announcers from BET, I feel like. Like I was like, you're not an actor. You're like a person who has like a real job, whatever. Oh, yeah. But then even in the very beginning, when it's the graduation scene, they play a concert band rendition of R. Kelly's I Believe I Can Fly. And fun fact, you cannot just like play other people's music just like you have to like pay, basically. You have to either buy the rights, or if like music is already written, you have to like buy the music. You can't like I can't on my own go make it up and then like be like, here you go, band, go do it, because like you get sued. So like, I don't know, there definitely seemed like there were some connections. A lot of connections. Well, it's because of this dude. Yeah, so that makes a lot more sense. But why is that the song for our graduation that we play? Let me know. I don't know, but I was really just as bored as Nick Cannon. And by the way, he makes the funniest like scoff faces. Yeah, like he makes he's stank face all the time. I kind of feel like he would be funny at like a Thanksgiving table because or a poker game, because he has like no poker face. Yeah. And he gets it. All of a sudden, he starts like making the drums go faster, and then the rest of the band gets into it. Now, Katie, is that a thing? Like, if
Bridge.
one of you goes rogue, the rest of you are like, I feel the
magically
hands.
know what's
and then
happening.
You all know how to like make the beat. You could just all kind of like freestyle that way. Is that a thing?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on the drummers, the percussionists you have. I just am not wholly convinced the high school kids would have been able to.
Got it.
I was like, oh, you guys like practice this. LOL, that's silly.
Okay.
I mean, it sounded better when he was playing. I was like, why the hell are we just like rolling? Like, we're just doing like drum rolls for this whole song. It's so stupid. By the way, I did have a PTSD flashback to my high school graduation from my senior year because the concert band, I played in it, like, at graduation, because it's always like, well, I was in band, we're gonna come play a song, come on up, seniors, and then blah, blah. And Bridge, I don't know if you know this, when I went up there, I was playing the snare drum, there was no sheet music, because the other kids who were not seniors were supposed to bring the music, and I looked at my friend Eric, and I said, where is the music? And he said, I don't know, we couldn't find it. So I literally had to make up the music live on stage.
Senior year,
That's
folks.
senior year. And this is another Drumline term you're all gonna learn, is I had to do it live. We did it live. You just fucking don't practice it, just do it live. Yep.
Wow.
That's what I did. So I was like, get me out of here.
Okay, wait. So, first of all, the dynamic between... Now, let's get some names here.
Yeah.
So, Sean was the coach that's not paid, that's actually the senior.
Wait.
Devon being Nick Cannon. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a part I got emotional at.
Oh, let's hear it.
And I literally wrote, I didn't expect to get emotional the first 5 minutes of the movie Drumline, but I did.
Here I am.
There is a scene where he's like, here, Mom, I bought you flowers for, like, raising me. And I was like, yes, that's correct. Buy your mom's flowers every fucking day of your life till you die. Correct. And then he was like, gotta go somewhere secret. And he goes and finds his absentee father and is like, you suck. And I didn't invite you to graduation. I graduated without you. And I'm doing something with my life. Bye. And I was like, yes. Also correct. Let's shame the absentee fathers publicly. This is all correct. So I had some feelies about it. And I was like, Nick Cannon, get on off the band camp, bitch.
That's what made him a likable character, though, is he held people accountable.
Yes, he did.
Even when he could have gone to that other school and ratted out his own coach, he was like, whoa, I'm not a snitch, no matter how much I hate Dr. Lee right now. No. And you loved him for that.
Yeah. So, okay, sorry. So back to the characters.
The dynamic between Sean, who was like definitely he kind of, when you first meet him, he's like, I'm the kind of goody two shoes. I do the right thing. Yeah. Dr. Lee entrusted me to run the Drumline, and I will do it as I know the rule book like the back of my hand, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, Nick Cannon comes in and he's winging it, and it's a total threat, and he hates it. And then he just loses all of that personality. And so they're both kind of like flailing together because they really rub each other the wrong way. Yeah. Now, as you guys have heard, my brother Jimmy and I may have this relationship. sorry.
Take a sip, y'all. Brother Jimmy's
sorry. But it also made them better.
Are you Nick Cannon? And then he's the Sean guy?
It depends on the scenario.
Oh my God.
I would say. No, but I think what was cool is by the end of the movie, they both admitted that they like made each other crazy, finally had it out, and then worked together, and that made it awesome.
Character arcs, we love to see them.
It was beautiful messaging. Yeah. So and then obviously they like win with it, and that's like the great story. And so it didn't matter about the love interest. It didn't even matter about the scholarship or the school or anything. That was really what it was about. And that was like the best sports movie. Yeah. Right? It's
teamwork.
Teamwork.
It's all about teamwork. That was one of the things that I like loved from this movie because it's such a like, it is kind of still till this day a universal message of like, you'll have kids come in who if they got hands or whatever, and they're like, I'm the best, I'm gonna do whatever, and you're like, no, you're a group. You're a group. You gotta sound clean. You gotta be together. You have to listen to whoever the leader is and like play with them and like play their tempo and their dynamics. Dynamics are the volume of sound they make, Bridge. Tempo is how fast or slow.
Okay, I'm following.
Just so we're with the terms, y'all. There will be a quiz at the end of this. Hands. Yeah. Okay. So now one thing.
I want to add. Oh, sorry. Real quick with the teamwork thing that made it even cooler is even the coach had a character arc.
You mean the band director?
Sorry, band director,
Dr.
whatever.
Lee? Yeah.
Dr. Lee.
Yeah.
That he was so inspired by their behavior.
Yeah.
That he adapted. He like gave them positive reinforcement, and that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because, that's a rare thing to see when someone in that position is like, you know what? I am going to change my mind. You know what?
Yeah.
I've learned new information and I'm not going to stick to my old ways. Okay, that was it. Sorry.
He's like, you know what? You're not arguing and my headache's gone. So yes, let's do what you're asking. Bridge, one of the terms that just is not in my drumline vernacular is crab. Which means they're freshmen and they know nothing. And are you a crab, Bridge? Is it?
I'm absolutely. Am I even worthy of a crab?
I mean, you're
like
a crab.
title. I don't even know how to play.
I think so. And so basically the setup of this band camp, again, if anyone has attended a band camp, I've been to a lot of band camps, mind you, and I honestly feel like every band camp I've been to is different. Because it's always going to depend on who the band directors are, how they want to, like, structure the schedule. And then it's also going to depend on, like, what's the end game? Is the end game to learn, like, 8,000 things? Or is it to learn, like, one thing? And so that's going to depend on what's happening. And in this scenario, it was just the freshmen for this kind of beginning part. And they were, like, it was basically, like, boot camp style, which... Thank God that's not what I'm used to, because I'm sorry, yelling at 5 a.m, you can't pay me enough to do that. Even if you buy me coffee, there's no way I'm doing that.
You're not doing wall squats with your drumsticks?
I will not be doing the wall squats. I won't. And
what about in the rain?
There were so many parts where I was like, wait, are you guys gonna like play music? Because they're just like running laps like all the time. And I was like, wait, but what about music? Okay. They get there eventually. It's very like, intense. And this is where you meet Dr. Lee and he says, good morning to music. And I was like, good morning. It's a great morning. Say morning to music.
Well, and his whole philosophy was educate first. He's like, we are here to educate.
Which is this is another thing that I really liked about this was like a central theme of, again, you may be very naturally talented, but everybody is going to need to learn. Like, everybody
You're gonna learn.
You're gonna learn today in the marching band. And, like, I loved that. And when you get to the subplot where it's like, oh, he can't read music, the band director's not like, well, get the fuck out of my face. He's like, okay, you're gonna just join a class to learn. And I was like, correct.
Yeah.
It's all correct. Yeah. I love the messaging. And I was like, oh,
well, and he
so
was
good.
like, well, you lied to me, so just take this class.
Yeah.
Make up your lie.
Yep.
And, because he was like, my talent got me here. He goes, no, you're lying.
Yo.
Got you here. I
stood up and clapped. Stood up and clapped. He's spitting facts out here, okay?
He did. I was like, Dr. Lee's right. And he's a doctor for a reason, am I right?
He's a doctor.
All right.
Bridge, we have to talk about an unfortunate statistic in the world of Drumline that I guess the needle's shifting a little, but definitely still very disproportionate, is that there are not a lot of female drummers.
It's all dudes.
It is
men.
a hashtag man's world. And, that comes with its own set of culture, dare I say. And that was definitely portrayed in this movie where the one percussion freshman girl is getting jokes made about her boobs. And I don't know if you said this on air or off, but Bridget was like, just do a one-armed push-up. And then, that's what beats the patriarchy, apparently, is a one-armed push-up.
Honestly, I believe the character's name was Ernest, was like, we got a lady on our drum line.
I mean, Ernest needs to relax.
He was so obsessed with her. And she looks at them, says nothing while they're doing push-ups, and then takes one hand behind her back and does a one-arm push-up.
It's like fucking G.I. Jane out here, yeah.
Honestly, I could never in my life do that,
Absolutely.
but that's pretty cool.
That's where my arm breaks, and I'm like, well, now I can't be in the Drumline. Damn it. This sucks. Another thing that I thought was pretty fucking funny is, and this is also something we should definitely point out, is this movie is portraying a historically black college/university, which means, like, what, 98% of our cast was black, which was amazing, because that's kind of what happens at those places. Right, like, that's, like, what that is. But they did have one white guy, and they made sure that the white guy was always kind of the butt of the joke. And I was like, yes, 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 yes. That's correct.
Because honestly, I mean, 2002 was kind of late, but there was a lot of people like this in real life.
There were.
Was like white dudes acting, appropriating as if they were black.
Very Eminem, right.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know if Eminem would be exact. I know what you're saying, but like talking like it in the vernacular, and you're like, no, you're just Kevin from the suburbs, and you like never met anyone who's black in your life. What are you fucking doing?
But I think this guy did grow up.
He did grow up, and the one thing that made me laugh about him is when he complains to Nick Cannon and says, you know, I got challenged.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, I can't help but think, like, why I get challenged? And Nick Cannon's like, because you're a fucking dork.
That's why I loved it, because I was like, we do need someone to make fun of. And that's an easy target.
Yes!
And you know what?
But he was kind of the way he would play those drums. He would, like, wiggle his hips like he was my toddler watching, you know, Daniel Tiger.
Oh, Daniel Tiger.
I can't.
Oh, my God.
Do you know... Embarrassing.
There was a scene during, like, all the hazing band camp moments where they gave him a nickname. Do you know what his nickname was?
No.
They called him Affirmative Action. Which I was like, that's fucking funny. Oh my God, it's so funny.
I mean, a part of me, I'm gonna be real with you, I didn't even need him. Like, I think it's funny, go for it. But
funny.
Like, what makes the movie great is you get to just, like, care about the plot. Yeah. And this country's so freaking racist that, you know, when you have only, 2 black people in the movie, there always has to be some ridiculous effing joke about it. When you're like, I just want to listen to the actual storyline and the characters and all that. And so it was, like, nice. We got to actually just, like, enjoy it. And honestly, it was funny. It was funny. It wasn't even cheesy. Like, the one line that Dr. Lee says is like, he's like, as you kids say, let's get crunk. That made me laugh.
Oh,
I was
God.
like, stop that.
Sir.
But the rest of them, it felt quite natural. Even Nick Cannon and Zoe Saldana talking, like, every now and then you're like, listen, it's 2002, but it didn't feel forced, you know, where you're like, whoa, this is embarrassing.
Well, Bridge, I knew it was 2002 because there is a scene that I was like, that's getting you fired, even though you're a child tech who's not getting paid money. The section leader during a drumline sectional, where it's just the little drumline, they're all playing together and he's running it. He's not playing a drum. Just want to point that out. This is the problem when you have no adults teaching now. He's not practicing. Okay, but there we go. He goes, guys, playing the drums is like making love. You don't want to look down. And I was like, that's a Title IX right there. Okay, we are filing suit. You are out of here. You've got to apologize in court. Okay.
Is that not how you play the drums?
Well, Bridge, you know, we just,
to it?
I don't think so, because I'm also, like, aggressively slamming metal into itself.
I mean, however, no judgment here, okay?
It was, a little too much. And this was just another scene where we're just kind of knocking Devon down a couple pegs, because he's like, I'm the best. And the band director's like, bitch, you dropped your sticks. Embarrassing. And I was like, that is embarrassing. Oh my God. And now we get to the end of band camp. And at the end of the band camp, it's like, okay, who's gonna go where? Whatever. We have a little audition. And then there's like a part where the section leader, Sean, is like quizzing them on the rule book. And I was like, I'm like thinking of the band I teach with. I'm like, do we have a rule book? I should read that. I don't know.
You know what to put on the last page
now.
Huh?
I do. I know. I was like, that is pretty funny. Where it's like you got to shave.
And I would love
head.
for you to quote Drumline with it. Be like, as per the 2002 iconic movie Drumline.
Okay, but literally, the kids that are in the band now were not born when this movie came out.
Wow.
Yeah, like most of them were not born. So riddle me that. They don't know anything. Uncultured. But yeah, he's got to shave his head, and that's a moment. And then, yeah, I mean, there's just so many fun band montages happening up in here.
I love the playing. Like, like, I can't even do it justice, because when you hear it, it's such a specific sound, but even the way where it's like,
yeah,
you know, and it's not just like tap, 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 which is how I would play.
So like roll, you like the rolls, Bridge?
The rolls are cool.
Bridge loves the rolls. Yeah,
I do. I love to rock and roll. Here's the thing. The only other thing I would say that is important is when we hear about the other team. That is, you know,
Morris like Brown.
Yes, Morris Brown, the arch nemesis. They are playing the cool stuff. They are, you know, they're fun and silly, and the president is pressuring Dr. Lee a ton to keep up with them. And that's kind of what saved Nick Canning a lot, because Dr. Lee's like, listen, he's young, he's got 4 years, we're not wanting to burn him out. What are you? And the president's like, put Devon in. Where's that Devon guy?
I'm on a first name basis with one of like billions of students here.
I didn't even know him.
Yeah.
But it was the pressure of the like evil arch nemesis. Okay. I don't think you were at Temple at this time, but Penn State came to play at the Eagle Stadium.
Everybody hates Penn State.
I know everyone hates Penn State. I get that. But they bring, like, you know, at the time, nobody was like nobody would come to Temple football games and fill the stands.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a Penn State. And I remember watching their marching band. Yeah. And those, who are the people that have the sticks and they run out?
They're called the drum majors. And in most marching bands, the drum majors will also like be conductors. But in this movie, it was just the band director conducting, and the drum majors did like fun dancing.
Okay. Because seeing them for the other school, like, come out.
Yeah, they run out like
splits.
Straight. Oh yeah, they throw the baton
and the dancers
and catch
and you have like the flag people and
color guard.
Oh my god,
yes.
I'm like, I remember watching Penn State do that, and I remember being like, okay, that's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Like, I get why people get so into this.
Yeah. It's cool. There's a lot of like really cool things that if you pay attention, you're gonna see like every section has like some unique things that are happening with them. And then, I mean, it is a sport. Like, we're all moving. There's actual marching. Marching is not walking. It's not walking band. Marching band. Okay, there is technique. Get it right.
All right.
Else. And yeah, I mean, they have their first football game, and I gotta say, this was maybe an editing moment where they're like, listen, you guys think you know what the crowd's gonna be like? You don't know. It's thousands of people out there. It's crazy. And I was like, whoa, is this like a big crowd? And then, I'm sorry, Bridge, but then they go out and I was like, oh no, there's only like 4, rows of people in the crowd. Like, I'm sorry. The school I'm with now does have a pretty big stadium that has been filled to the brim before. And then also I'm a little biased from being in like NFL stadiums where I'm like, that doesn't feel like a lot of people, guys, but it's fine. You do you. Good team.
Well, and I love that we really couldn't care less about the football team. It didn't.
Oh, they
like
don't at all.
Bring It On was funny about that. Bring It On was like, they had to have a battle. Not at all. This movie was like, we couldn't care less.
They say
loved it.
Halftime is game time. And I was like, let's fucking go! Fuck yeah, let's fucking go. Now, this school, at least we were not shown this, most college bands do a pregame. They'll do a little, like, something where they're usually playing school songs and blah-de-blue, and that's, like, before the national anthem and all that stuff. And then there's, like, a halftime show where the music is going to be different stuff, basically. So we didn't see any pregames. We just see them at halftime, and they're all, like, super fucking hype about halftime. And this is where we have a, I guess they always have, like, a little drumline solo moment, something happening, and that's cool and fun. And Sean, the section leader, had a solo, and then Devon was being a little snippy, and then Sean's like, why don't you go do the solo right now? And you're like, damn, what the fuck? And then Devon's like, fine, I will. But then, like, he kind of chickens out. But then he, like, does it anyway. And you're like, what? It's just very dramatic.
Okay, don't make fun of me.
Okay.
But, like, when you play in a really big stadium, do you have, like, mics on your drums?
No.
So how do they hear you? Is it just that loud?
Well,
do you guys wear earplugs?
Some people do. I personally don't when I'm on a field playing. That's the reason why you have, like, a lot of people playing the same instrument, though. So, like, the drum that he was playing was a snare drum, and I think they had 10 of those, which is, like, kind of, I would say that's normal for, like, a college drum line. Then you typically have at least 6 or more bass drums, and bass drums are different sizes because there's different sounds, so each drum is a different sound. Then there's tenors, which is where there's multiple drums all attached together. They had, like, 4 or 5 of those, which was also normal. They marched some flubs, which is, like, a singular kind of tenor, just one that sounds different than a snare. It doesn't have a bottom head. And they had, like, 6 of those or something. And then they had not as many cymbals as I would have liked. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Made me a little sad.
Okay, but they made it up for at the BET Awards because those cymbals had their day.
I was like, thank God we're fucking featuring these guys. Where have they been all my life? Oh my God. But basically this halftime show, because Devon, like, chickens out, but then he jumps in the solo anyway, the band director gets pissed and is like, you two are ding-dongs, and I'm over it. And somebody go polish the drums, even though we already did that an hour ago. Goodbye. And I was like, damn, harsh. We don't polish our drums, by the way.
I was going to say, is that a thing? Do people polish drums?
Maybe people do, but, like, they're not competing and getting judged at football games. So, like, are people going to notice how shiny your drums are? Probably not.
Probably not. The only thing that's important to talk about the relationship between Zoe Saldana and Nick Cannon is when they go to a party and they watch people do step dancing.
I mean, that was fucking awesome.
Because when
Love to see it.
Also saw that at Temple University. Thank you, Temple University.
Woo! Temple Maid.
I remember, like, my mouth dropped to the floor. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I just was like, how do people do this?
Yeah.
How do they make sounds with their body?
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing.
It's a form of percussion and dance, which is, like, you could argue a little harder because there's a lot more coordination needed to do it.
Yeah.
It also made me think of the movie Stomp the Yard, which is another amazing movie that I really want to make sure we do one day because I fucking love it so much. Yeah, that was great. And then they're just, like, dating, and you're like, that felt like really easy for Nick Cannon to get Zoe Saldana, but
I agree.
It's fucking fine. So we get to the point in the movie where, yes, now they're learning new music. And Devon can't read music. And he gets outed by Sean. And then it's like big scandal. It's like front page news. And then we have to have a serious talk in our office about it with Dr. Lee because he lied. And I love how Dr. Lee handled it because he's like, you fucking liar.
I mean, it's kind of bad though. Full ride and put that on your application, like, ooh.
Full ride that's not real and you can't even read music. Yeah, but this is where he's like, you gotta join a class. And then Nick Cannon's like, I don't wanna humph. And then fucking all the women have to fix everything. So Zoe Saldana's like, but, like, don't you wanna do music? He's like, okay, I'll do it. I was like, oh, stupid.
I hate it.
Dumb shit.
I couldn't care less about that stupid part.
Yeah.
Although, Then the president is pressuring Dr. Lee to be better, and you're boring, and you play music, and blah, blah, blah. I want to win. He's like, put Devon out there, put Devon out there. But then Devon gets in a fight.
Okay.
With another. By the way, when you drum on someone else's drums, is that like, uh-oh, you gotta fight him?
I don't feel like people drum on other people's drums, like, ever, because, like, that's weird. Like, why are you so close? I personally have never gotten in a drumline fist fight, but there is still time, I suppose. You never know in this day and age.
I hope
What's gonna
pray.
happen?
You'll
Yeah, I mean, I liked the drumline battle scenes because it is obviously just more like focus on the drumline. I don't feel like that's like real life. But you know, it's fine. But yeah, this is where everyone's like, Devon,
Everyone's mad at Nick Cannon. They're like, we're over you. We're over you. You're fighting.
Oh,
you don't
and
know
here's
music.
Bridget. Here is another term. Are you ready? Then he gets cut. Bitch gets cut. You cut.
Wait.
You out.
Isn't that like a real term?
Well,
you get cut from a team?
Perhaps. But, you know, for us, it means you get kicked out.
Oh,
you get
okay.
Cut. He's cut.
All right, so he's cut.
He's cut. He gets cut. He's not even part of the band anymore.
Yeah, no, it's bad. And that's why the other team starts like being like, hey, you want to come over to us?
I mean, they jump into bribery real quick. The guy's like, so what music are they playing? And I was like, but isn't your music better? Like, why the fuck do you care? And he's
That's
like,
what I thought.
We're giving you money, maybe. And I was like, oh god, there's a lot happening over
well, and
here.
that's where you like Nick Cannon, because he's like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm only a baby-faced 15-year-old / 22-year-old.
Yes.
I'm outie.
He's out. He's outie.
And then why did his deadbeat dad inspire him to write the best music ever?
I hate it. I thought the fucking cassette tapes were from his mom, and then I realized it was the dad, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, these are not from the dad. It probably was from the mom, and she was like, I feel bad, so I'm going to lie and say it's a dad because women have to do everything. And here we go. And it was so stupid. But somehow, Bridge, he gets inspired to go and play beats. And I actually have to ask friends of mine if this is a real thing. I don't think it is, but they had this like device where if someone was playing on a drum, it could like immediately transcribe what they were playing. Like onto sheet music. I don't think that's real. Usually
it's really cool.
I mean, usually it's the opposite like order of events where you have the music that's written by somebody and then it gets like played. Like it's not, I don't know. But if that's real, like what are we doing, guys? I mean, that just seems a little easier sometimes. And this is where they become friends for I don't know what reason. They just are like, wow, we love drums. Let's hang out.
I mean, the one thing that made me kind of laugh about it, I was like, so Nick Cannon, you don't know how to read music, but you're going to go use the machine to put something down so that it'll be on music you can't read.
That's correct, Bridge. Yes, he still can't read
music.
Versus
like just recording it with like some sort of recorder. Like a tape cassette. All right, here we are.
So,
the world is starting to get better because this is what they needed to fight it out and then become besties because Sean's like, actually, Nick, this is the most beautiful music I've ever seen, and you did that.
And he's like, and we're one band, one sound. Don't forget.
He's like, you are the man, but also we are the band.
But
so
we're also
do it. Okay?
Man equals band.
All right, and then they work together.
Well, and then I did also like how the movie was like, okay, you're gonna get back involved with the band, but you're not gonna be playing in it. And I was like,
I like that.
Also, yeah, that was another thing. I was like, yes. Correct. So he was also a child tech where he's not getting paid money, but he's just hanging out, doing work, and I don't know, it's a great time. And they kind of reformat their entire performance that they're going to use to go compete. And Bridge, before we get there, we do have a little challenge. We have a little drum challenge. Bridge, do you want to describe the drum challenge?
No, you do it.
What?
I want your
Oh, so the one, the white guy, Mr. Affirmative Action, Jason, he had gotten basically like kicked down a peg or two, so he wasn't performing because somebody had challenged him and they beat him because he's crusty. But now he's like, I'm back with a vengeance for the BET, thing. Here we go. And basically the way they do their challenges is it's in front of the entire band, which, like, I'm busy. I don't want to stand there and, like, watch this. Help me. I don't want to do it. But that's how they do this. And basically the two drummers are competing for the same spot. So they're playing the same part. And they basically just play it at the same time. And whoever's better and whoever looks better doing it is the winner. And then in this case, one guy dropped stick. And bitch, if you drop a bass drum stick, guess what? There's no more.
You're out.
You're out. You cut. Okay, somebody's falling on that. Probably me.
Oh my god,
Not
rolling
good.
an ankle.
Not the ankle rolls,
but then,
okay?
But then he gets back, so you're like, okay, I guess that's why we had that character in the movie, to cheer him on.
I also love that the entire band is like, woo! Like, he won. I was like, wait, what about the other guy? This is why it should not be in front of the entire band. I hate it.
Awkward.
It feels like bullying a little. So anyway, I guess now we're ready for the BET.
We're ready.
Classic.
And they go to Dr. Lee and they say, listen, Dr. Lee, we want to do something different. Dr. Lee says, I'm listening.
He said, I listened.
He did.
They kind of just do like a little medley of like, what do they play? A, B, C. Easiest 1, 2, 3, Jackson 5.
They go from the 1970s to 2002, and they take you through like a series of like old to new music.
One thing I will say about this movie, and this just might honestly be how some of these college bands approach their shows, is there is not as much like... They don't do as much marching. It's more like we're standing in place, side to side. We're standing in place, which can be like fun depending on what's happening. But yeah, the marching part is definitely not the spectacle in this instance.
They made like the 1970s.
They did make,
and then they made the 2002.
There were numbers that were made, very straight line numbers. Those are, it's hard to screw up a straight line, so that's always a safe choice. But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, Bridge.
I've been wanting to talk about this.
Petey Pablo? Okay.
Convertible
driving on the field? Okay.
I don't, honestly, I saw it and I went, Petey Pablo! And then I was just like, don't care. But can we get to, can you play the cymbals like these people? In the
like the way that they like spin them around like that?
They were squatting. They were spinning. They were twisting.
Yeah,
they were
do.
Crazy. They were on shoulders. I thought of you.
I was lifted in the air one time. It's not good by drunk people. So the way that they hold their cymbals is like, it's not like wrapped around their wrists. It's wrapped around like their fingers. So I don't know if I can even like demonstrate this for you, but like when you have something that's...
listeners can't see anything. So.
I'm describing it. That's just an audio podcast.
Ouch, okay.
When you have something that's only wrapped around your fingers and it's a strap, it's a lot easier. Like if I do this, just that, it's going like 80,000 directions.
Katie is wiggling her wrist.
Okay.
Like she's writing the Disney
Sorry, yeah, I
logo.
guess I was just doing
Or
it.
she's Harry Potter with a wand.
The way that they hold it basically makes it a lot easier for it to spin in the way that they spin it. Now, how I play and how I teach, the strap goes fully around your wrist because we play different technique, and in order to actually like crash and make the noises I want them to make, it has to be like more locked in place. Whereas when you hold it against your fingers, it's like less stable. Oh. So being less stable is great for spinning, but it's not great for music. But they also didn't play as much music. They were doing more like visual stuff. So that's the best part of the cymbals is you do music and you do visuals and you do cool shit and it's shiny and wow.
I loved it.
Yeah, I love a swirly cymbal. I really do. And I was like, woo! Cymbal player in the front! Let's go!
Was any of that drumming impressive to you? Because it was super impressive to me. Or you're just like, eh.
It's fun.
Okay.
I like when they do, like, little silly, like, body stuff. That's always a good time. Makes it more interesting than just standing there. Like, they would do, like, little, like, dances and, you know, side-to-side stuff. And they did also have, like, variations. So it wasn't, like, each one played the same thing over and over. Like,
Yes.
they would play different beats. And there were some different sounds in there, which I was like, okay, cool. I was missing a little bit of the bass drum splits.
Yeah, I did feel like bass drums weren't that loud.
No, they weren't that loud, but they didn't play any splits. Like, they were all just playing the same part. So you're
What's
like...
a split?
A split, like, each bass drum is a different sound because they're different sizes. So when you do splits, it could be like... Like, it, like,
oh,
it could do, like, it would sound different as you, like, split and, like, runs. But they didn't do that. They all played, like, unison. They played at the same time for all. So I was like, I missed the bass drums, but okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it was fun, you know.
I loved it. And then it ended. And you're like, thank you, 2000s.
It did
We
end.
did it.
We did it. It ended. And freeze frame.
I believe I can fly.
Oh!
Okay. Would you watch it or not watch it?
I'm going to watch it. I will.
I'm gonna watch it every time.
Wow, every time, Bridge. Damn.
Nick Cannon, you made me laugh so hard and I liked the music.
Can I buy Baby Kate a drum? Is it
yes.
too... Okay, great, because...
But make it like a baby version.
Okay.
I can't fit a drum set in this tiny townhouse.
Not yet. What about the basement? There's room down there.
No, there's not.
Oh, there's not?
There's no room.
Okay,
no, we gotta get. You just get a little pad, a little tiny pad,
a little pad. I do want to also point out that since I think 3rd grade was when I joined band. That's when it's like offered in elementary school, and I always did percussion. And the year that this movie came out, I was like either 5th or 6th grade, and Mom did buy me this movie as a Christmas gift. We had it on VHS, and I also got, for years and years, just stock obligatory drum-related things, and I love it. It's a great time.
Honestly, that is one really funny thing about our family. Is like if you say
it's
you
like
a
something,
theme,
yeah.
Like
that
James,
my theme,
is like, oh, he likes airplanes, so now anything he gets is an airplane.
Oh no,
and he's like,
I'm definitely guilty of that. Damn it, I'm so sorry. Oh no,
but it's just a thing our family does. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very on brand. Okay.
It is my pick,
Woo!
and we're doing another movie.
Yeah.
It is from 1997.
Oh, I like that year.
It has
kind
of 2 breakout stars that put them on the map.
Okay.
And another star who we just recently did.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know anyone.
It gives me fall vibes.
Oh, well, it'll be December when this comes out, but probably by then
All right.
it'll still be fucking warm, so who knows?
Probably. It gives me school vibes.
Oh.
It really gives me Boston vibes.
Oh, Boston. Is this gonna be, what the fuck's his name? Is this
Kate?
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon?
It is, and what is it?
Is it Good Will Hunting?
It is!
Oh my god! They wrote the screenplay for this together.
Let's do it.
Hashtag secret lovers, but like not so secret.
No, they're definitely lovers.
I mean, I support
secret
it.
lovers.
Oh, I can't remember the last time I watched this.
And Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. He plays like a pretty good therapist, which I always appreciate in movies.
Oh, love that.
And then Minnie Driver is also in this.
Yeah.
Isn't she Matt Damon's love interest, I believe?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, the accents. Oh my god. I also always fucking think of the scene from Step Brothers where they're going on the interviews and John C. Reilly's like, you know, I'm just like a janitor and I'll like do math problems on like different chalkboards. And the guy's like, Are you just describing Good Will Hunting? And he's like, I'm just a genius, but like no one knows it. I'm like, oh my god, this movie had cultural relevance.
It really did.
Yeah.
So Kate,
Bridge.
I want to let you know.
Okay.
You get ready.
Okay.
To do your symbols.
Yep.
And it's the BET Awards.
Oh, God help us. Okay.
And you're trying to win.
All right.
And they're telling you that you can't use that strap I'm going to work with my product nerds and we're going to invent a strap that allows you to do the fun flare and also the big sound, and you blow the entire stadium away with your musicality and your entertainment.
Okay, there's literally a company that like does that now. They have like straps and gloves. But hey, live your dreams. Thank you, Bridge.
That's for you.
Thank you. Wow. And Bridge, for you, I think I'm going to probably now start buying Kate drum memorabilia. Gonna get her on the drum line. She will not be a crab. She will be a P1. Okay? She will win the BET Awards, and she'll do a one-arm push-up, And I'm just gonna
let's have her do that.
I'm gonna like make it happen for her, for you, for us, for women, for drums. Go drums.
Go drums.
Go drums. Yes.
I love that.
Yes, and listeners, if you also love the Drumline, woo! Best section of the band, boo boo. They're the heart and the pulse of the band. Okay. If you love living, that's the Drumline.
Okay.
Also, if you think that running 40 laps, I guess, is helpful for band camp, but also we should use our time efficiently and learn music and marching. So let's not, go on a 40-mile hike beforehand. I'm just saying. The priorities for me, right?
It's a lot of math.
I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. That's all I'm trying to get at.
All right.
And if you think that, I don't know, why don't we have the BET Classic anymore, guys? I would watch that.
I would totally watch that.
Who's streaming that? Who's hosting that? Can I come? Can I be Petey Pablo? It should be Nick Cannon. Oh my God, I would love that so much. Yes, if you think all that, you should write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out. Your request goes in a list. And we look at the list every now and then. And we will do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Give us money.
Ooh.
Which will go to Kate's Futures College Scholarship in the band.
Yes.
Okay.
It won't be a full ride probably, but yes.
Also, not at this rate, listeners. All right, pony up.
Wow.
And also, there's merchandise and it's holiday season, so get on it.
Yeah.
Get that friend, that thing that no one else will understand but you two, and you'll laugh and giggle at each other and they'll know you love them. Okay? Over your love of this podcast. Do it right now. Do it.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes. So check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Goodwill Hunting. I have no quotes.
You pack your cat to Harvard Yard.
Harvard Yard. Boston. Get some Dunkin' Donuts. That sounds Brooklyn. I don't know. Accents are rough. All right.
You got it like the Boston coffee. Park your car. All right. I love you.
I love you.
I'll see you next week.
Okay.
All right. Goodwill Hunting.
I'll be there. All right.
Be there. Be square.
I love you.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.